start to brighten other people's world with a smile, all of a sudden the world brightens up around you. It's like reciprocal. It's so interesting, and it's something in psychology that I don't want to talk about more because I don't have the studies in front of me, but it's something about us having a good attitude and keeping a good attitude around the people that we are having or around with that makes us so much better at whatever we want to do. Let's stop fighting beliefs. Stop fighting beliefs and let's try to find common ground. We're all on this planet together. According to statistics, it's the person who's mediocre that actually advances further. I'm more interested in the top 10 richest men in the world, and Bezos, who I can't get over this joke. I've been saying this joke, and if somebody says it on the Oscars, you know what I'm saying? The man can get divorced and is still the richest man in the she took half and he's still richest man. Come on, Bezos, you got this. Look at us up on Doc Real TV. And you know what time it is, folks. That's right. It's time for more In the Hot Box. I'm going to say that one more time. You know what time it is, folks. That's right. It's time for more In the Hot Box with Doc Real. I'm here today. I got something a little bit different for you today. And I got to make sure I'm not double micing here. So let me see something here. I was double micing. So one more time, let's get that intro one more time. You know what time it is, folks. That's right. It's time for more In the Hot Box with Doc Rio. And I'm here today to talk to you a little bit about taking action. That's what this lesson is all about today. That's what we're going to do. And this is the new look for those who haven't seen it yet. This is how we're going to be coming from the studio right now with the In the Hot Box. We're in the LA Hot Box, and that's pretty much the design there, That's what you're seeing on the screen there. Oh, no, that's an AFK button. But anyway, we shall see it all soon, so stay tuned as we'll be right back with more In the Hot Box with Doc Rio. I don't know how that got all the way over there, but it should be over here. There we go. That's where it should be. So, yeah. So stay tuned. We'll be right back, and let's get ready with another word from our sponsor. I think I skipped a button somewhere. I think I maneuvered buttons over in the Mustang. I haven't gotten it right in my head yet. But stay tuned. I got something a little bit different for you today. So, that's right. Here's another word from my sponsor, and yeah. Look at us up on Doc Real TV. All right. So let me get this CC off. This CC is not working right now. Once again, but I'm probably not even logged in this time. Let's see if it works if I log in real quick. But in the meantime, you know what time it is, folks. That's right. It's time for more In the Hot Box with Doc Rio. And today we got something a little bit different. I'm just start out with this real quick. I just got this urge, this feeling. I don't even know if I can play this. I was playing it earlier, but it took me a little while to get on today. That's why you hear this echo. That's probably why you hear this echo. Yeah, I forgot about the echo when I came on there. Yeah. But are you hearing me? Are you actually hearing me? Wow. Let's see. Oh, yes. Okay, you are. All right, let's double check that real quick just to make sure. Yes. Okay, cool. All right, so today I came on with a different thought process in mind, and it's funny because it stemmed off the idea of taking action. It does definitely stem off that idea that this lesson is all about, but in the same sense, it comes from an understanding that not everybody has a chance to take action in areas that they want to. Not everybody gets an opportunity to live the dream the way they want to, so to speak, and I know it's difficult. I know I've been there myself. I've had the dream squashed. I've lived the dream. I've made it to where I've wanted to be, and then I've lost it all. And I've gone backwards, and I've done things that anybody would say that they may not be proud of, but I would never change because I learned so much in them. And I know a lot of people say that all the time. So with that, I know I lived a great life in a sense that does it really matter where our next voyage takes us if we've put our efforts into what we thought was right the whole time. You know, that's one thing. So when you know that you have something right and good to do, you should take action. One, two. Whoa, that was off. Something happened on the keyboard there. There it goes. All right, I think I'm gonna put this on this side. Sorry, folks. It's gonna be a wire in the way, a little bitty wire in the way. But I haven't rerouted this wire yet. Actually, I can right now. Let's just reroute the wire right now, so it's not in the way. There we go. That's how you do it, right? You take action, right? I just said that, right? You take action. So take action. I need the words for this. All right, yeah, there we go. I think I got them there. Yeah. I wrote this, but I still need the words for it. So let's start that over. If I should die, I don't have the words in front of me. I have something else in front of me. I was like, no. All right. Okay, that's the line I need right there. That's the line I worry about all the time. Let's start with this one, and then I'll move the words there. Okay. Whew. Let's try this one more time, folks. I know I'm live, but, you know, sometimes you just got to start over. People don't do that in the big stage world, though, but you do it at home, especially when you're recording. Minutes smoke together today. Sometimes you got to take action. Sometimes you fail at taking action. And I'm going to do it one more time. From spent on my, what one was I playing? This one, yeah. Spent on my downs, yeah. Spent on my downs. At the same time right about taking action. And I've spent enough time playing and taking a little bit of action, taking practice action. You know, I haven't been practicing. I haven't been doing that time. I haven't been doing what I need to do to keep practicing at one of my crafts. And one of my crafts is, well, I can't say it's one of my crafts, but one of my crafts is music. But one of my crafts in music has been learning to play piano better, or learning to play piano, because I never really did learn. I kind of took private lessons for a couple of times on piano, but trumpet and French horn took precedence. And I mean, of course, most musicians have an instrument they favor. Even if they play a lot of instruments, they still favor one in particular. And I don't know, I favor the trumpet, and then I favor brass, but at the same time, I like the guitar. I have 2 guitars and I have a keyboard. I mean, why do I have those instruments? Because playing those instruments brings out the beauty of how music is just an encompassing act. And so, yeah, I may have spent 27 minutes attempting to sing a song, but in that 27 minutes, I hope I entertained you as well. And you might have laughed. You might have laughed at me failing. You might have seen me try harder. You might have seen me do more. You might have seen me shaking while I was doing it because I was nervous as heck. Every time I thought I was on camera, I was like, oh, shoot, I'm on camera and I'm messing it up, you know. But there were times when, you know, I'd lock in. And, you know, and that habit has to come back, where you, as a performer, you lock in to the music. You lock into what you're doing, and you forget about your surroundings. You lock into where you're at. Hasn't come back in a while because I got a lot of stuff to, you know, the stuff that locks in, actually, be honest, the stuff that locks in now, which is so crazy, is this stuff that I've been talking to you all about. And so as I talk to you all about this stuff, I get a little anxious that I have a message that I need to share that's more important than the song I'm singing, because the song only conveys this much of the message. You know what I'm saying? It only tells so much of the actual story. You know, when I talk about the actual idea that, hey, I could go right now. I actually, it's not a bad thing. I feel bad for my mom and feel bad for all those who live longer than me. You know what I mean? And had to see me go. But I could actually go right now and be satisfied with a lot of things that I've accomplished. And that's not easy to say when you're not wealthy. I should be wealthy right now. I should have a lot of money in my pockets. But I don't. My pockets aren't fat. My pockets are my I was trying to not to give away some of the lesson, but you know, my purse is lean. My purse is lean. Is your purse lean? I know some of our purses are lean. You know what I mean? Even though I still make money on the side, don't get me wrong, I still do what I need to do to make money right now in this pandemic. And like the last recession, or the recession that we went through before, I didn't really notice the recession. I guess I did. Maybe I did, but I guess I didn't. I was still working during it. So, so things like that constantly happen around this world of entertainment. And yeah, I mean, look, I got a chair right now I need to replace. Y'all probably have seen the edge of these chairs. And I'm waiting to get a specific chair. I'm waiting to invest in myself to get a specific chair. I'm waiting to take that action. Why am I waiting to take that action? Because of this pandemic right now. You know, but I've been taking other actions during that time that were more important. See, everything has a scale, so I have to wait periods of time as money comes in and take that percentage and invest in myself. Speaking of, I need to get into this lesson for you. You know, because I think it's more important that I get into this lesson right now. And why? Because this lesson is all about taking action. And one of the things that we talk about taking action is when you're trying to plan and do things, you got to write stuff down. You got to write stuff down, right? Right. You got to write stuff down. Uh-oh. You see, that's the weird stuff about certain things on, oh, wow. Really? 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 Oh, wow. Really? That really just happened? That really just happened. Yeah, see, sometimes you just got to keep taking action until it works. You got to keep practicing to make things perfect. I haven't been able to get on every broadcast and do everything perfectly. Like, I came on this one pretty smoothly. Everything worked out from the get-go. No problems. Wait, hold on. I had a double mic at the beginning. Do I still have that double mic? No problems. Wait, hold on. I had a double mic at the beginning. I don't have that double mic anymore, except for when I just turned that on. But that's a whole nother story. You know what I'm saying? So, where's trial and error? Put some trial and error on in the background. Now the music back on. You know what I'm saying? Hear it one more time. Put some trial and error on in the background. Now the music. Yeah, see? Make sure y'all can hear it too. All right, now. All right. Thank you, Push Button Entertainment. One more time. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, people looking at me crazy like, this fool's always talking Push Button Entertainment. You know why? I did a lot of stuff with them. Anyway, now, let's talk a little bit. Let's talk a little bit about the 12 steps to multimedia success. Choking on words. The 12 steps to multimedia success. Right? Because you know what time it is, folks. It's time for more In the Hot Box with Doc Rio, and we got a lesson to talk about that's called Take Action. The most important part about take action is we need to sit down and take action in order to continue this process from starting out to back to the basics, to going to climbing up, to accepting so that we can advance. Now that we're accepted what we can advance, we need to take action. And I'm getting questions like, how can I take action? I mean, what should I do? I'm stuck at home. What should I do? How can I figure out to craft my stuff into a skill? How can I figure out to craft my stuff into certain things? Well, there's certain things you need to do or that you already know that allow you to craft things into skills. Many of you know plenty of programs out there. I mean, I might show you something in this lesson right now today. At the end of this lesson, I might show something, and you might say to yourself, well, I can actually do that too. I've done that. I got that skill. That skill can actually get you something. Why? Because it's home-based. You can do it at home. It might just cost you a fee to actually have the program software. You just don't have the software, but you know how to do it. I mean, that small fee, that investment in yourself, is something that you need to do to actually take action. Sometimes taking action starts with the littlest things. You've heard this before and back to the basics, but now let's get down to it. How do you invest in yourself? What steps do you need to take? Because I told you need to invest in yourself, but I told you about buying hardware. Okay, now, but what do you need to do and take to really get your personal steps to get past that point of no return? Because I think a lot of us get stuck in this, hey, I've gotten everything started the way I wanted to. I thought I got everything started the way I wanted to. Now, how should I take steps to actually make this work and actually sell products or actually deliver a product or actually just deliver content? Because, a lot of people think that a product is just an actual piece of product, but sometimes you're just delivering content. You might just want to deliver some music. You might just want to deliver some, sorry about that. Make sure that was turned off because those keys are loud anyway. So you might just want to deliver some energy to someone somewhere and get them motivated to get out or to get up, get on and do something. You know what I'm saying? And so I'm going to start leaving that. That's going to be a new hashtag. Get up, get on and do something. That's what we're going to say. Get up every day, get on, and do something online that helps you advance yourself further so that when this pandemic is over, you are still advancing yourself further. Even if you don't go back to your job, even if you don't get a job, you'll figure out a way to make money. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to talk to you about actually here, this is how you make money. No, because there's so many ways out there and there's so many gurus that talk about that. I want to talk about motivating yourself to get up and do these things. 12 steps to multimedia success start with you motivating yourself, and then you have to use the tools, the multimedia tools out there. That's where this started, all about the multimedia tools, and that's what we're going to talk about today as well. So let's get down with this. The first thing you need to do to take action, I'm on the wrong screen, is, I guess I got to click there. Take action after the basics. The first thing you need to do to take action after the basics, after climbing up, after the basics. You know what I'm saying? This is all after the basics. This is season 2. So this is all after the basics. The first thing you need to do is write stuff down. Write your ideas down. I already talked about this before. You got to keep writing stuff down. All right? Because if you don't write stuff down, you don't get your ideas out. You see, let me put it to you this way. It only takes one small action to cause a ripple. Yes, I wrote that. Not only that, I actually sent it out with a post. Matter of fact, I think that you guys should understand that we need to take small actions in our life by writing things down so we imprint them in our mind, our body, and our soul so that we go forward in our life with them. You see, writing down, I got books of stuff I wrote down, and every time I go back into those books, I notice there's something different about something I saw after I wrote it, that I might have accomplished something that I've written down in those books. Now let me take it to a next level here. All right. Now, you need to get out there and make a ripple. Wow. That's the wrong part of that photo. That photo is supposed to have, I guess I cropped it. That photo is supposed to have the actual quote, right? It only takes one small action to make a ripple. Remember that. It only takes one small action. Look, I dropped a drop of water and took a photo. You know how many times I had to do that to catch that photo like that? And that still isn't clear. That was hard. But one small action of dropping water caused a ripple effect across a pan. One small action of dropping a drop of water can actually change a whole ecological system. One small action of sneezing on one person can actually cause a pandemic. It only takes one small action to cause a ripple. So make your own ripple. Now, a lot of people ask me, when I'm talking about making my own ripple, because, it's hard. But how are you so positive? How are you so, they look at me and they're like, because that's me making my ripple. That's me taking on my steps to climb to make that ripple. And people always ask me that. That's how I make ripples in my world. I contribute the positivity around to other people, and hopefully they contribute it back to the universe, which therefore definitely contributes it back to me. But I am lucky because of that. People like, you're always lucky. You always end up in scenarios and this and that and this. How do you always end up on your 2 feet? How do you always end up surviving at a greater level than you should have? Because you just always end up in those scenarios. Well, I have to say, it isn't true. I'm not so positive all the time. First off, the truth is, I am not positive all the time. I'm not always positive. As I said before, positivity may be one of my strengths. In the last lesson, I was talking about a little bit about strengths, which I'm going to talk a little bit more about that here. But I have to motivate myself daily. You know what I'm saying? I might have a Mercedes engine sitting there, because that's what that is. That's a Mercedes engine right there. That's a Mercedes engine. I might have a Mercedes engine right there, but it ain't in a car. It got to be put back together and put back in a car, right? Otherwise, it's sitting on a curb right here. You see that? You see that Mercedes engine? It's not my Mercedes engine, but you know what I'm saying? It don't go nowhere unless I put in work. It don't do anything unless I make it do something. I've got to invest into it before it can actually make motion. You see what I'm saying there? And I got to invest in myself every morning when I wake up. I started that a little bit too early. However, I got to get my engine, like I said, I got to get my engine started every day. That's my engine right there. Got to get it started every way. Just like everybody else. Everybody else gets up. I know some of y'all get up in bad moods. Some of y'all get back in all kind of weird feelings. But okay, check this out. All right. Let me show you something that reminds me of reasons why it's important to write it down and invest in yourself. Because if you write it down and believe in something, if you write it down, something that you want to invest in the future, it will eventually happen because you wrote it down. Not because you thought of it. I had a buddy of mine, and unfortunately he's not with us anymore, and I always told him every day to write it down. He had ideas out the yin-yang. I wanted to see all his ideas come to fruition. I knew he had potential because he had great ideas. But if he just wrote some of them down, if he just took the time to just write them down, I bet he would have accomplished more of his dreams. You see what I mean? And so this goes out to him as well. You know what I mean? This episode is actually dedicated to him. I should actually type something up and put it dedicated, but you know what I'm saying? I'm just saying this episode is actually dedicated to Gavin Asherson for, the fact that I should have told you, it's time to take action. Should have told you a little bit more of that every day. It's time to take more action. Just keep writing it down. Keep doing. And stay with us longer. Now, however, if I motivate myself daily, I have to choose certain points and choose certain things to help me motivate myself. I have to figure out a way that imprints it in my mind and in my abilities of keeping going. You know what I'm saying? For me personally, and maybe I can imprint on other people's minds. Like I have the ability to do that, but imprinting things on my mind sometimes is hard. I tell people this all the time. People call me. Matter of fact, I got a text message from somebody at Grant Cardone's office. You know what I'm saying? I want to read it to you. Matter of fact, I'm gonna read it from this phone. I think I got it on this phone. I think I got it on both phones. It's in chapter 10. Okay. All right. Oral examination for Spanish. So yeah. So I was a little late because I was doing my Spanish homework as well, but I wanted to make sure. So I rebooted the computers and made sure everything ran right first. But in the same process, I got this text message from a Grant Cardone representative, and I still got it saved because it's just funny. It says, Doc, this is his name. I don't want to front him out. I'll let Grant Cardone do it between him and him. Let me know when you have 30 seconds to talk soon. And I said, unless you're buying, I ain't got time right now. Like it says on my social media, I'm in the lab. Hold the calls. Now, it's funny because I got home, I posted that I was in the lab, and then this text message came immediately. A phone call and a text message came immediately, right back to back, right after I posted. So when I said I'm in the lab, that means I'm in the lab. You know what I'm saying? That means I'm working on something. That means don't bug me. So I got the message, and that's what I said. And then he said, understood. So I said, and tell Grant, I said, closers get coffee. Then he came with 2 other messages afterwards. I didn't answer him because he didn't get it. Closers get coffee. I just closed you. Grant would tell you right off the bat that I just closed you by telling you and not answering. Next person to speak loses. I gave him a close, and the close was, tell Grant I said closers get coffee. Because he didn't close. I closed him. He came back. He even said we love coffee. But anyway, so this whole understanding that, you know what I'm saying, it's hard to imprint stuff on my mind because I'm probably one of the hardest people to sell because I don't buy things unless I want them. And so when I talk about investing in myself, people are like, oh man, you're always investing in yourself. You're always talking about investing in yourself. I have to talk about investing in myself. Why? Because I have to be motivated to invest in the things that I need to do to get to the next level. This is the importance of this lesson. It takes motivation to take that next move. It takes motivation and inspiration and determination and perseverance to keep going on and maintain that motivation. You see where the circle is? To maintain that inspiration, to get the things done, to make moves, to imprint that on my head over and over and over again. It's taken years of me imprinting it on my head. That's why it's taken me 4 years to make this transition. From 2016, from that zero at 2016 that I talk about all the time, where I was laying on my back with my leg cut open because I fell through my glass table. You know what I'm saying? And I couldn't make moves the way I wanted to. I realized that I had to start making moves from my back. How can I make moves from my back? How can I make moves while I'm laying on the couch? You see what I'm saying? How can I make moves when I couldn't make any moves, but I had a cell phone? I had to take action. And I started taking action. And yes, I learned that there was a process to this, that I was maybe going the wrong direction, and I had to figure out a few things. I had a few people tell me, hate on me hard. But those haters, I listened to their topics. I listened to what they told me. You know what I mean? I took mentorship from them. They took it as they were hating on me. I took it as they were mentoring me. And they're shaking their head to this day. Like, I wouldn't mentor that clown. Why? Because I'm a zero. I'm like you. I'm like everybody else out here. I'm the guy showing you what my steps are. I'm in their eyes, the zero that should be paying them to get to the next level. Not the guy who should be showing everybody that he's making it to the next level on his steps, on his climb. That he's listening to the mentors as they tell him, oh, you terrible at this, but you need to get this done. And sometimes it gets in my head. And sometimes I have to have other mentors tell me, no, you're good at this. You just need to slow down. Like I was saying about the music. I just need to slow down because I got on the screen, and when I got on the screen, I got all nervous and all up, you know, like as if I'm on the stage, but it ain't the same because when I'm on the stage with different people back in the day, I was always comfortable because I had people around me. When you're on the stage solo, I was never comfortable. Even when I got out there and soloed, I was never comfortable solo. You could ask anybody in jazz band, you could ask them all. They was like, he was never comfortable soloing. He liked playing with the band. I like being part of the group, part of the group energy, of the core energy, that synergy that we can all build together. And that's another reason why I teach this stuff. I teach this stuff so that in the future, in 10 years from now, I can work with some of you that actually stepped out and take action. That actually said, yeah, you know what, Doc, you were saying the right stuff back then. I'm glad I listened to you. And I'm glad I followed some of those other people's steps, those books you put out there, those books that you said that other people put out there, but I didn't see them because they didn't get to 7 billion people. They didn't get to touch 7 billion people. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying I'm going to get to touch 7 billion people, but even some of our biggest people aren't getting to touch 7 billion people. You know who's touching 7 billion people? You know who is almost touching 7 billion people? The President of the United States. That's who's touching 7 billion people. That's what kind of presence actually it takes to get to 7 billion people. You know who else is touching like 7 billion people? What's her name? Why am I forgetting her name? Oh well, I forgot her name. It'll come to me in a jiffy. But you know what I mean? She had to cancel her concert. You know what I'm saying? Starts with a T, doesn't it? Or does it start with an S? Wow. You see, I forget stars' names and they get mad at me later. Because that's me. And that's why some people are like a clown. You know, he's a clown. He can't even remember people's names. He can't even get, you know, I done forgot more than some of y'all can't even remember. But yet and still, yes, y'all have climbed to other. I've sought leaders. I've sought education for myself. I've sought understanding and learning so that I can understand and learn how to lead, because I don't feel good leading something if it's not something that's right. And a lot of people say, you know, well, you've passed up a lot of opportunities. Yeah, I passed up a lot of opportunities to go down roads that might end up in my death. I might have made the billions, millions, but I might have died in the process. So there's that key of survival. I've been lucky, and I could have been much luckier in a lot of processes, in a lot of situations. I say processes because that's the way I look at them. They're a machine. Everything's a machine, especially when you talk about industry involvement. I feel better doing stuff on my own without industry involvement. I feel better, some people say the man, I feel better not having the man tell me how to run my business. Although they do still tell me how to run my business. They do tell me when I need to pay taxes. They do tell me when I'm doing something out of the law. They do tell me, it still happens, but it's still mine. You know what I mean? I don't mind working for other people as long as I got my own business running as well. As long as I can invest in myself as well. As long as I can spend time on myself and what I want to do as well. They call it a hobby. Okay. After 4 or 5 years, that hobby, when you start developing it and selling it and making it into a business, it's no longer a hobby anymore. You know what I mean? And as I've been developing it and selling products for it, it's become a part of a business for me. You know what I mean? Yeah, I'm not selling hundreds of products. I got a service mark that's trademarked. You know what I mean? I own it under my name, and for the next 5 years, the next 10 years, I got to report on it. I got to report what I sell through that service mark, which is my services. And right now, I'm giving away services for free because why? Because I think it's important to first start by showing people what you need to show them first. And then later, maybe they will learn for themselves. Because essentially, anything I'm telling you, I cannot teach you. I can only show you. Victor Wooten. You know what I mean? I can only show you something. You have to teach yourself it or learn it for yourself so that you are taught. Now, I can be a teacher, but a teacher doesn't teach. A teacher shows. And all I'm doing is showing you something that somebody showed me. They showed me to look in a book and read and find out situations and understand that I need to make a ripple. And if I make a ripple, then that cause has an effect. It's basic science. Isn't it a law of physics? Right? Right? So, anyway, I need a button for that. I need to put my zoom in button back on this board. But I got too much on this board. I need an XL. That's what I need. I need a Stream Deck XL. I need to buy me one of those. Another one to put on the list to invest in. But I got to take the time and say, look, when do I need it? When do I really, really need it? And I have to put it off until I can actually say that it is time. Because that is part of investing in yourself that is important. That is part of investing in yourself and understanding is knowing when and when not to invest in yourself. Right? So, this is what I did one day. I invested in one of these boards in 2017. I noticed, I didn't realize I put RealBooks 2017-18 because I knew that summer that I wanted to do a transition. And this was the idea because I'd be done with school by the beginning of 2018 at Pierce College. Pierce College graduation wouldn't be until 2018 summer, even though I'd still be graduating in December and be starting CSUN in January, right? So, or getting my degree that says December. Yes, it says December, and starting in January at CSUN at California State University, Northridge. So that summer I put on the wall that everybody saw this, that it used to be a food list that I was putting up there. So remember to buy certain things when I went out the door, right? And I stopped even looking at the food list because things kind of imprinted themselves on my mind. I realized that. And what I did is I wrote this list out and I said, speaker events. I want to do more speaker events. At the time I was preparing. Yeah, because it was summer. I was preparing. I got that wrong. I was preparing to do a speaker event I had already done a speech competition with, I had been in like a radio host or a host announcer kind of recording and kind of reporting on this event, the speech event at Pierce College, the Pierce College Speech Competition, which is an annual event that I liked going to and hosting, but being, a radio reporter that I was there, it was just kind of a piece that I was trying to put together constantly on this so that people get aware, become aware that they can win money had they sat down and wrote good speeches and been in speech classes. So, and they can win prizes and actually win awards. So my idea was to get this information out to people and to share it in a meaningful way so they can hear some of the speeches, so they can hear what was going on. And, the professors there liked that. They ate it up, actually. I like the fact that they liked it because they're geeky like me. They wanted to share this information. They didn't know how to share it. And they're like, well, we have a resource. Here's somebody willing to share it. Let's get it out to them. And I hope that they are able to continue to share that resource, that students go out and actually record some of it. Pierce College students, you can go out and just record some of it and share it in a piece. If you get a whole bunch of those little pieces on the air about this one event, then yeah, so be it. But you're sharing something that happens once a year that is iconic of our speech department at Pierce College. Now that I'm alumni, I can say that our Pierce College speech department. Now, I can say it then too. But now, I put out this Ripple board. This is my Ripple board. I'm telling you now, in 2017, my Ripple board. And so I put out speech events. I wanted to do more speech events. And that next semester, I was going to do a speech event, which is like the Pierce, it's called we called it the Bull. Oh man, I can't remember what it's called. But it was like a Shark Tank. Bullpen. The bullpen. And so basically it was like our Shark Tank at Pierce College. And so we basically had a bullpen, which is kind of an event. But it was basically started by a different group. I should have the name for it. But it just came to my mind that that's the next event that I was about to do, is be a host for that show. And that was fun, being a host for that show. I'm not that comedic, but for some reason, people laughed at my jokes, and it ended turning out good. I messed up a few times, of course, but, that's me. I'm dyslexic and read funny, and I mess up a lot. So I just got to get used to that I do mess up a lot, and accept that so that I can continue to advance. Accept those things and not focus on them and harp on those things. Because if I harp on the fact that I mess up, then I'll never get to the next level. I'll never make it past that hump that I'm facing. You know what I'm saying? Like, reason why I want to do books, ebooks, and free podcasts. I've been doing books, ebooks, and free podcasts since 2016 anyway. Giving them out, writing out. Now I'm selling ebooks. You know what I'm saying? The next stage is I've been writing my books and getting them ready for print. Step by step by step by step by step. It's all been in that process. I stopped looking at this board. It's been up there. I forgot that it was up there. I thought it, actually, the other day I was looking at it, I was like, oh yeah, what's that food list again? I want to look back at it. I can't remember what I used to, and I looked up and I was like, oh yeah. I've imprinted myself. I forgot that I imprinted myself with this. You know what I'm saying? Kickstarter, Indiegogo campaign. I've started a couple of those in that process for other reasons. And now I'm going to get back to doing that for myself. You know what I'm saying? But for a particular fictional reason that I want to put out there. You know what I'm saying? Demons who live, demons who live, demons who live. Now, Kickstarter Indigo campaign. Get ready for that button, folks who are watching this on Mixer. Demons who live, demons who live. Get ready for that button. That button should be showing right now, shouldn't it? Should be showing, just to make sure. No, they're not. All right, buttons are popping up if you're watching this on Mixer. Right now, buttons are popping up. Demons who live, demons who live. That middle button coming soon, coming soon. You'll get to pick. You'll get to pick a story off of a wheel. You get to press that button, go in. Only certain people get to press that button when they make a certain level. They make a certain level. This is a bonus level. They get to press that button. They get to pick. They get to pick. First, you got to be a follower though. You got to be a follower though, and then you got to start. You got to start spending some of your real bucks, your real buck coins. You know that's part of your level. You spend part of your leveling to level up higher. Campaigning, gambling, and heisting, and all that competition. You know, I think it's fun. I think it's an opportunity. So when you do come in my chat, if you're not bored of hearing good stuff that may help you, you can actually gain points in my chat. Yes, you can. So stay tuned, and those who follow actually gain points, and you start to gain points gradually as you go through. You know, I even have points when I'm not streaming. So you see what I mean? I'm taking action to take things to the next level. As you see, that's number 7, but we'll get back to that. Videos, interviews, online programs. Well, at the time I was doing videos and interviews anyway. Online programs. I've been working on my online program, building that up, cash chops. I decided not to buy other people's stuff and share that with you. If I'm gonna buy other people's stuff, why don't I just build a lesson for you? And that's what Cash Chops is all about. Cash Chops is all about me building a lesson for you in the future and getting ready to sell you. Yes, I said sell people this lesson. If you don't buy it, so be it. If you don't, be honest, if you don't buy it, so be it. You'll be missing out on a lesson that you might learn something from. But if you do buy it and you gain knowledge from it, let me know. Come back in the comments and say, hey, look, if you learned something, you see something in it you don't like, and you're like, hey, Doc, I don't like this. Leave it in the comments too. You know what I'm saying? I'm opening it up. I know I have a beta tester group, and that beta tester group is starting to become open. I'm starting to put it out there to the world because I'd like to just put out the content. Grant Cardone has told me over and over again in his stuff that I should just put out stuff even when I don't feel it's ready. I should take action. I mean, I can't take action if I don't just put it out there. So I'm putting stuff out there now. I've been putting stuff out there for the last few months, just selling stuff that I've been creating. And it's gradually gaining momentum, gradually, step by step. But it's not that much money. It's not that much money, but it's the start of understanding how to be at home and make more money at home without having to go out and teach classes in a room full of people. Because teaching class in a room full of people is great. It's great money, don't get me wrong. It's good money. I'm gonna tell you, that's my side business. Being able to teach a class in a room full of people, the same kind of lesson. Teaching LinkedIn classes. I got a chance to teach a LinkedIn class, and then after that, I started selling the idea to teach LinkedIn classes to people, and that's been great. Going to people and teaching their employees about how they could use LinkedIn to benefit themselves as they've transfer on, because some businesses are meant to transfer on. Some businesses are a way station, especially when you talk student employment. So I'm teaching businesses who take on interns and take on students to do what they need to do on LinkedIn so that they can get a job. You know what I mean? But first, what did I have to do that? I had to go get a job at a university. I had to go understand what it was like to be back in the system and actually teach in a system and actually learn a lot more. I learned a lot more from working at California State University, Northridge, and I learned a lot about my own strengths and how I could be better at my strengths. I learned how to break apart a Brené Brown section better before of a book that I wasn't doing before when I was teaching you these lessons. I was reading from a book. You might see a whole video I was reading from a book. Yeah, I still do that sometimes to this day. But I was reading from a book and I really didn't have a lesson. I had an idea behind it, but I didn't really have the backing of it. I didn't know how to break down the lesson better. CSUN has taught me how to really break down lessons, how to really plan and give things through electronic media management. I'm an electronic media management student. A lot of people are now entertainment media management, but I'm electronic media management. You know, to me, that makes an understanding to me that I have to focus on things not from just the entertainment aspect, but there are businesses out here that need to manage their media, and it's not just about entertainment. Yeah, it needs to be entertainment for their employees. Yes, it needs to be entertainment to get training through your employees, and I think 362 Professor, yeah, I thank her for this. You know what I'm saying? She should be on the wall. Yeah, all the way up there. It's got my name on it. You can't see it. It's a flap that looks like it's folding above the pyramid of success back there, and above the road symbol, and above the picture. You know, that's 362. You know what I'm saying? Cinema 362. You know what I'm saying? Shoot. Professor taught us that training is important. Everybody needs training, and that was the first thing I learned before I went to work at California State University, Northridge, that everything that we do needs consistent training. You can get a degree all you want to, but afterwards you still need to continue to certify yourself. So if you don't have a degree, if you're not certified, you need to take a moment and think about that for a second. And when you think about that for a second, take a moment and wonder why you're not trained up. Because you should be. Especially if you're learning stuff on YouTube, you should be taking the certification courses to make sure you are trained up. Because if you make sure you're trained up, then you're making moves. You're making real good moves. See what I mean? Like this Ripple board said, I actually took something from a book that I'm going to jump into real quick. I took the 5 laws of gold from here. I made my own 5 laws of gold, and it's put away 1/10 of your earnings. You know what I'm saying? I still, because I have a lean purse, I still have a problem with that. You know, I mean, I know some people tithe and stuff, and tithing is fun and all. Yes, it's great. It's great to do that because you're giving back to the community. You know, I mean, there are other ways all of us can give back to the community as long as you give them 10% back to the community somehow to help other people, whether it be through labor or it be through actually payment. But at the same time, make sure you take 1/10 for yourself. So that's 20% you should be putting away. 10% for the community, whether it be through labor or product or service, and 10% to yourself for investment. Because you got to invest in yourself. All right. Find profitable employment. Find profitable employment. That's so important. You've got to find profitable employment. I don't know if you can even see that on the screen there. I don't know if you can really even see that the laws of gold. I'm going to read them to you, though, that I wrote. I wrote them differently than they really are. Invest under the advice of wisdom. Invest under the advice of wisdom. It says it differently in the book, but I like the idea of invest under the advice of wisdom. You know, because it takes mentors. It takes people that tell you, hey, yeah, you know, the best person you can invest into, the surest thing you can invest into in this world is yourself. As long as you know thyself. That's why you have to accept first. You have to write down things that you accept first about yourself. Once you know yourself, you can invest in yourself. And you can take action to move forward even more. And invest in familiar products and skills. Don't go into anything that's hocus pocus either. Avoid schemes and gambling. That's the 5th. Invest in something that's familiar. What's familiar to you? All right, first off, you are familiar to you, and then the things around you are familiar to you. The things that you do are familiar to you. So those are what you should invest in. You know, in the Grant Cardone program, he talks about, you know, if you make a certain amount of money, he's like, okay, you start out getting a job, you work at that job, and then you take some of your money, you put it away. Then you look for avenues in that job. You look for avenues in that job that you can make a little bit more money off the top. So he was a salesman at a car dealership. He went over to the service department, and at the service department, he told the people at the service department, hey, you know, hey, y'all need somebody to sell these service agreements? So he made a little extra money off the top. That little extra money off the top, he took and invested in himself. Once he invested in himself, he had to double down. He doubled down and made another business to start out while he continued to work, but he had to do the same cycle all over again. So once you go to the double down and you make that secondary investment, you make that secondary plan, and you do the next level, which starts out a business that you can make some side money on, well, you've got to double down on investment for both that business, and you've got to double down on how you work that first business. You see what I'm saying? That's why the 10X rule is so important. You see what I'm saying? And that's why I tend to avoid those who have the hate in their heart. There's a lot of people who have hate in their heart for some of these people out here, including ones I don't even want to mention. I don't even like one of them, but I don't have hate in my heart because I understand that this person is still doing a business and still making money and still telling valuable information. If the information is valuable that's being spread, then hey, they may be doing something else in their other business, but the basis of the Grant Cardone business for me has been full of books books of knowledge and wisdom. And so I hear people saying all this stuff about his real estate program, whatever. There's a proven track record. Do you look at the proven track record, or do you listen to the person who doesn't have a track record at all? You know what I'm saying? Now, people are looking at me like, you don't have a track record at all. Yeah, but I'm citing sources that have a proven track record. I'm not out here citing sources that don't have a proven track record. You see what I'm saying? So when people come back to me and say, oh, yeah, you're probably wrong for citing Grant Cardone because you don't ever know. I'm citing books of his that are proven. You know, like there's a book called The Closer's Guide, Closer's Handbook. Yeah, The Closer's Handbook. You know what I'm saying? He's got a book called The Closer's Handbook. I don't have it off the tip of my head, but yeah, it's his Closer's Guide, and in that guide, I don't have the actual book. I have the digital version of that book because I thought it was better for me to learn and listen to different closes. You know what I'm saying? So, Grant Cardone's book, and I'm going to say something about that real quick, even though I don't have it open. The Closer's Handbook. I know it's The Closer's Handbook. Yeah, it's The Closer's Handbook. I was right. It's The Closer's Handbook. Grant Cardone's The Closer's Handbook. 11 Rules to Master. 11 Rules to Master Sales. All right? The Closer's Handbook is 11 different rules, but in the rules is nothing but pages and pages of closes and rebuttals and closes and things of training to get people through the idea. So his proven method of things have worked. Maybe his proven method in real estate may or may not work. I don't know because I'm not a real estate guru. I can't talk about that. I can't sit back and talk about something I don't know. And I know these people are talking about, oh, well, you know, the problem with working for him, this and that. You know, there's going to be a lot of haters. That's one of the things he says. When you're doing the right thing, when you're making moves and you're doing the right thing. And like I said, he's got, 8 books? 8 books of right stuff, information that he's been, and a lot of times giving away his books. I've gotten 3 of his books for free, and I've given away his books. So when I get them for free, I end up giving them away at white elephant parties. I like giving away books. So I gave away one of his books at a white elephant party once. You know what I'm saying? A hardback at that. I could have kept that for myself, but no. I decided to give it away because he gave it away to me for free. You know what I'm saying? So this is just that passing on knowledge. Give away knowledge. If you give away knowledge or sell knowledge, you know what I'm saying? I give away knowledge too. I give away knowledge first before I sell it. So I'm giving away this to you, and then I'm turning around and writing in a program, and people aren't going to see it, and people are going to buy it. People are going to buy it because they didn't see the free video. Because by the time they come around to see the free video, it's not going to be free anymore. It's going to be off. It's going to be turned off. It's going to be years later. A couple of years later, and they were like, oh, getting the idea. You know what I'm saying? That's why I said now is the time. Now is the time for you to take these steps. Invest in something that's familiar. You are familiar to yourself. Invest under the advice of wisdom. The wisdom out there says you must take 1/10 of your earnings. Put away 1/10 of your earnings. Find profitable employment and invest in yourself is what most people, and that's what it says in the Grant Cardone program. Find profitable employment. Put away 1/10 of your earnings, or 20th, he says. Actually, he says 40% of your earnings put away. And take that 40%, because he's saying the faster route. Take that 40%, turn that 40% around in your investment. And if you can do that, you will make the gateway towards $1 million quicker than anybody else. You know what I'm saying? And that is important that he's saying that. And then he's saying invest under familiar products and skills. Familiar products and skills that you know that you do. You know what I'm saying? And then avoid schemes and gambling. That's I mean, if it feels too good to be true, it is too good to be true. That was my Ripple board. I stayed away from all that. You know what I'm saying? And the reason why I wanted to stay away from all that is because I was able to stay away from all that is because I wrote it down. I was able to stay away from all that because I wrote it down on that board, and it reminded me every day when I was walking out the door. Just because I didn't see it, just because I didn't visually register it in my mind that I saw it, doesn't mean I didn't see it. It was in my view. Every time I walk out the door, I'm seeing these words. So I'm imprinting myself with these words and not even knowing I'm imprinting myself in these words. I go to sleep, they're already imprinted in my head. You know what I'm saying? I get up in the morning, I take a shower, I get up, I'm do my stretches, everything. I walk out. When I walk out of the corner of my eye, they're imprinted. When I'm out of my room, I see them out of the corner of my eye. When I'm in this office set, I can see them from here. You know what I'm saying? I might not be able to see the words right here from here, but I know what they are because they're imprinted in my mind. So you got to do that. You got to imprint it in your mind. You know what I mean? And that's why I had to show you a photo of my Ripper board. I started this board in 2017, and it was a peek into starting this plan. It was a peek into starting everything. And like I said, I got down to webinars, products, services, podcast services. I'm doing all that right now. Merchandising, I've been doing my shirts. I've been selling my shirts, all that. And as well, now I get to do contests. I opened up something when I saw Mixer. I get to do contests. You know what I mean? And that's why I said something about the contest earlier. I'm going to be doing contests, and I'm giving out real bucks. You know, real bucks has become a currency for me. Instead of it being a company, I'm going to do this through Doc Rio TV, through the service mark, and take everything through this so that now we can sit back and say, okay, let's use real bucks currency so that you can get some of the merchandise. You might be able to get free, like Grant Cardone gives me stuff for free, and I give away stuff for free. I'll give away my lesson plans for free. My slides on certain lesson plans when I get knee deep into serious plans for free. You know, so that you can gain the knowledge if you want to. The knowledge that it took me to get. I give away some of the data that I've researched because that's where the money is, the research. The data. I'm finding out different data about different things that half of you don't even understand. You know what I mean? And some people look at me, especially when they're looking at a gaming channel, I got so much data. You know what I mean? From cell phone data, from text message data, to video data, to social media data, to email data, I have 13, 14 email addresses that I pay attention to, and I keep data on all of it. And I got to sift through it. You know, I wish I had a team to sift through it. You know what I mean? That's the hardest thing to get, a research team when it comes to data. That's why research is so important. You know what I mean? And that's why, you know, there's a book back here. The Unapologetic Guide to Black Mental Health. You know, that I've been looking at. It blew me away because there's not enough black psychiatrists out there writing out the data and telling out the data. You know what I'm saying? Dr. Walker, Dr. Rita, I think it's Reba Walker. I might be wrong. Don't quote me on that. Because I just got it. It took forever to get the book. The Unapologetic Black Guide to Mental Health is.
Push button, baby.
I can't see it from here, and it's Rita Walker. So I was wrong. It's Rita Walker. And you know, I mean, I'm glad that I was able to get that book. You know what I'm saying? Because a person like me needs to hear stuff like that, because we have certain things that we do, and I was blown away, because one of the first things I noticed is that, you know, I talk about this all the time. There's not enough people doing research, but there are people doing researches. She says in her book, the churches do the research. And I was like, yeah, they do the research. But the only problem with the church research is that they don't give it out. They don't put it out. Unlike Scientology. Scientology is a church. They take that information, they turn it into data, and then they write books about it. Self-help books. Church keeps it in lock within their pastors, and then their pastors pass it through deacons and leaders in their congregation. But when they pass it down to their congregation, they don't give them enough tools. And enough tools would mean that people would come to them more and seek mental health help. Mental health help. That's what I wanted to say. You know, you got to seek mental health help. MHH. Seek that MHH. Mental health help. Because we all need it, especially those of us in the black community, because we feel like we don't need it. We feel like, oh yeah, you know, we have to sit up there and pose. You know what I'm saying? You know, we got that pose that we put up there. You know what I'm saying? Let me not get into black history real quick, and to the understanding of the black male real quick. You know what I'm saying? Let me not get into some words that are specific to understanding what's behind the mind of each culture, because each culture has different understandings. We all have theories that have to do with how we live as a social conscious. You know what I'm saying? Critical theories that make us, you know what I'm saying? This is critical black theory that I was about to get into, but I don't want to get into that. You know, critical theory can be used because there's critical military theory. When I learned about that should have been obvious, but when I learned about that working at the USU, it was just that concept is like, you've got to understand there's critical theory about there's got to be critical white theory. Because especially in a day and age of this time, when people are starting to question things of their nature, of their time, and the other people in their society. There's critical Latinx theory. There's critical theory. They call it critical Chicano theory, I think. But I call it critical Latinx theory. And there's critical theory between all platforms of life. Critical theory when it comes to how much money you make. Financial theory, class theory, critical class theory. You know what I'm saying? So don't think that they just sit in one place. We all have different sets that for different things. And are different things, if we understand the critical theory behind it, then we start to understand ourselves better. We start to accept so that we can advance. And when we accept and we advance, we are able to take action by reading books that tell us certain things, like this book, The Richest Man in Babylon by George S. Clason. George S. Clason. All right. Now, that's why I made my own 5 Laws of Gold, is because of this book. This book is a little dated. It's 1927 when it was made. So in the fact that it was 1927, it's been republished and republished and republished for years. You know what I'm saying? It's a little left to be desired. You know what I'm saying? When you talk about the richest man in Babylon and the 5 Laws of Gold, it talks from the concept of Egyptian times, Babylon. I mean, I say Egyptian, Babylonian times. That's when it comes from. It talks from that form, and it talks from the idea of someone in the 1920s talking in that form of Babylonian times. So you got to understand that. And it's a story. It's a story that I don't want to give away. I want you to actually read yourself. My copy does not look like the copy on the screen, but if you look at my copy, it says the same thing. More than 2 million books sold. More than 2 million books sold. Why are there more than 2 million of this book sold? Because there are important lessons in it. It's a good story, but there are really important lessons. And let's start by talking about one. Because I think a lot of people have misconceptions about money. We all have misconceptions about money. And we need to stop having those misconceptions. I was saying that earlier in another lesson, that we treat money like it's greater than anything else, but it's not. It's not supposed to be greater than anything else. That's one of the money misconceptions. Why do we act like money is greater than us? It is not. What we trade money for is greater than us. Food, we need food. That's greater than us. I mean, I don't even want to say food is greater than us. I think we're greater than food because we can make food. You see what I'm saying? Like I got food sitting on the stove that I should have ate before I did this lesson, and I'm hungry now. You know what I mean? I want to take that food, but, I work to make money so that I can get that food. I don't work to make money so I can get money. I work to make money so I can get that food, so I can invest in myself, so I can do the things I need to do and share the things I want to share with people. Don't you? That's what we all should be doing, right? So one of the things that the money misconceptions about money is that in this book, it talks about how people think that we are a slave to our money, when in all actuality, he says that every piece of gold you save is a slave to work for you. Every piece of gold you save is a slave to work for you. So how do we slave ourselves to grind to make money? We always worried about being a slave to this job that we don't want to do to make money. So when I say go out there and build a home-based business for yourself and for what you love, then you need to go out there and build a home-based business for yourself and what you love, and not worry about what other people think. Stop worrying about the haters, because the haters going to come. When you get big, the haters are going to get bigger. You know what I'm saying? The big boys know. You know what I'm saying? The haters will be right there. The haters will start in your own home. The people in your own home that say you can't do anything while you're sitting on the couch waiting for a job that you might not get back right now, or waiting to continue that career that might change, because all the careers are about to change soon. The way everybody's working is going to change soon. There won't be as many jobs out there. And we were in a bull market for so long, 11 years in a bull market. 11 years. You know what I'm saying? 11 years in a bull market from 2008. And be honest with you, for me, that recession was so small. That was a bursted bubble of a different market. That was a real estate bubble that burst, right? But all in all, even during that burst, the market was still bullish. That's what's so funny. The market was receded back then, but it was still pretty bullish. We've had a bull market for a lot of years. We've had a roaring 20s for a long time. And now that we're reaching the 20s again, it's all falling apart. It's all falling apart. And we're nearing an early depression. We're nearing an early depression, but we all pay more attention to the money, the digital numbers that are not significant to any valuable item except for maybe a company's wealth, a company's worth, a person's worth, a product's worth, but not actually significant to the product itself, because their digital numbers are the paper numbers, their paper bills. You know what I'm saying? We worry more about that. And that's our biggest misconception, is that we think that we work for the money when the money works for us. Every piece that we earn should be working for us. Even if we work to earn it, once it is earned, it needs to go to work. It needs to do its work. It is a slave for us. And every time we get a chance to save part of that money, then it definitely becomes a slave to our investments, an investment in ourselves. Invest in yourself, folks. And, okay, now, I know a lot of people say, the one thing that a lot of people say is that, okay, oh yeah, you know, it's nice to have that goal of saving. It's nice to be able to save, but, you know, I got a lean purse. I've been there, lean purse. Yeah, lean purse. I said lean purse. That's something that they talked about before. You know what I'm saying? Because, you know, people get caught up in the word purse. Purse is just, you know, the idea of talking about a place to keep money. All right? Don't get caught up in the idea of purse, because, you know, some people are like, well, I don't have a purse, I have a wallet. You know, men had purses before they had wallets, because the clothing you wear, you had to tie it onto a belt, and it was a purse bag. They had coin bags. Those coin bags are purses. Those are called purses. Those are coin purses. So when we talk about the richest man in Babylon, we talk about gold. They talk in gold. The idea of Babylon being a place where they traded gold, they did business in gold, they did business according to supply and demand. Supply and demand. All right. So one of the things we got to do is avoid a lean purse. And he says, in order for us to avoid a lean purse, oh, I didn't put that one in there. We got to save it, and then we got to invest in ourselves. And this is part of the 7 cures to not having a lean purse. And this is part of us taking action. I didn't put this slide in there either. Wow. I mean, I did put this slide in there. I mean, I didn't put it in my list here of slides so I can keep track of where I'm going here. All right, so the 7 cures for avoiding a lean purse are, I skipped over a few slides is what happened. The 7 cures, I don't want to go into that. Actually, I want you to read them yourself. But I do want to read the 7th from the 7th cure. Oh, I know what I was going to read. That's why. So let's go back. All right. Now, and I want to read from here on purpose, because he says, after he says that, he says, and I had to stop and read that on purpose because I wanted to make sure I didn't read the wrong word the wrong way. He says, like otherwise, according to your income, and let not yourself get inwardly, and not inward as in I inward, but the inwardly, and afraid to spend. So basically he says, do not just be hoarding money. Don't hoard money. You know what I'm saying? And I need to make sure I said that, because yes, this is written at a different time, and I understand that, and I don't take offense that when I'm reading this, I just try to get the knowledge. You know what I'm saying? He's saying that those who are ignorant save and save and save and save and save, and they start hoarding. And they hoard money and they don't spend it when they need to spend it, so that they can move ahead and make moves. Like right now, it's time to spend some money so that you can make some moves on the side. So you can figure out how to not have to go back to that 9-to-5 job that you hated so much. Not have to go back to that McDonald's job that some of y'all didn't want to do in the first place. I mean, I'm not saying that you're a McDonald's, but some people are. I'm not saying that's a bad job because McDonald's pays well. Well, I want to say they paid certain positions well, but you have to spend certain amount of time. And, you know, I couldn't even get a McDonald's job or a Carl's Jr. job or anything for a while there because people told me I was too qualified because I worked in restaurants and I've done this and I've been in the military. I was like, you telling me? When I was 30 years old, people were telling me I couldn't go get a regular job, so I had to be an entrepreneur back then, too. When I was 25, people told me I couldn't get a job. You know what I'm saying? I got a job anyway. I got a job making sales, learning more about Tom Hopkins Champions Unlimited, learning how to sell things. You know what I'm saying? Sell things I didn't want to sell. Sell things that other people wanted to sell. Jewelry at a 500 to 1,000% markup to military and soldiers. Things I didn't really feel good about. You know, when I got in the film industry, I felt good about it, but then there was a part of film and television that felt wrong. Why did it feel wrong? I'm going to tell you why it felt wrong, because there's certain entities that take the business and turn it a certain way that just makes it feel wrong. You know what I mean? And sometimes those entities are all around us, in every which way. And, you know, sometimes we make mistakes too. So I made some mistakes, but I own up for them. I did them. You know, so that is one thing. Remember to not hoard. Save and invest in yourself. You know, and then back to the 7 cures. In order for us to save and invest in ourselves, you got to take that action and actually do those things. I wouldn't be able to stream multi-stream the way I'm streaming multi-streaming right now had I not invested in the tools that I needed to do that. For a while there, I was streaming at a different rate with y'all. And I was streaming on Mixer and not really doing the things I wanted to do the way I wanted to do them for you. Not being able to set up the slides like I'm doing right here. Not being able to give the lesson the way I want to give the lesson. So that you understand that I'm not just talking shit right now. I'm gonna just say that. I'm not just sitting here talking shit. I'm talking from actual qualified knowledge. That's important that you understand that. You know? So, he says to take action, but because we live in our own day and not in the days which are to come, we must take advantage of those means and ways of accomplishing our purposes. Take advantage of the time you got right now. Take action. While you're sitting there trying to figure out what you need to do, stop trying to figure out what you need to do. Start trying to take action in what you already have in your heart. You know you can do. You already got the skills. Start where you are. Use what you can. Use what you have and do what you can. You know what I'm saying? That's what he said. Mr. Ash said that. Start where you are. Use what you have and do what you can. I might have gotten the quote mixed up, but close enough. You know what I'm saying? Mr. Ash. You know what I'm saying? Arthur Ashe, to be exact. Now, see, I can't remember names, but I remember his. All right, now, so, at least I think I did. Then, and you see me putting this on, I'm still having a lip therapy. It just, dry lips, constant. So then, that tastes good though. Then, okay, I look at this, and I think a lot of people look at this, when you read, before I read the 7th, I think a lot of people think that I've been in lucky scenarios, and I want to tell you, luck is not just luck. There is some preparation to luck as well. And that's why I said, you know, luck is a blessing, because if you're able to prepare, if you have an opportunity to prepare, it's a blessing for you to be able to prepare so that you can be luckier in the long run. You know what I'm saying? Luck is a blessing because you're given opportunity by the universe, by God, by wherever. You're given opportunity to do something, to make certain moves. So with that being said, let's go to this next part where I'm going to read some of the 7th cure. All right. And I think this is important. I thought I was not really blown away by this, but I like to share certain things straight out of the book. And this right here is, for those who don't know, I'm reading from The Richest Man in Babylon by George S. Clason. George S. Clason. And he says, one of the 7 laws is he must pay his debts with all the promptness within his power, not purchasing that for which he is unable to pay. All right? Remember that. Must pay your debts promptly, not purchasing that which you're unable to pay. I need to remember that myself. These things, everything I'm saying in this lesson is a 1 finger, 3 fingers. 1 finger, 3 fingers. So remember that. All right? He must take care of his family, that they may think and speak well of him. Yes, I need to do more of that as well. I need to, talk to my brother and sister more. Talk to my stepmom more. You know what I'm saying? I'm localizing. I've been localizing for a while. Talking to those who are in my vicinity and re-catching up with my mom a little bit more. So that my mom and my mom's wife and my other mom, we build our relationship more. And so I've been doing a lot of that. So I have been slowly, gradually taking in some of these lessons. You know what I'm saying? It also says he must make a will of record that in case the gods call him, proper and honorable division of his property be accomplished. Now think about that for a second. I know I've been talking about that, and me and my mom were talking about that, leaving wills and making sure, people have access to certain things, in our family. So if we leave a will, we tell them where what safety deposit box, that we might keep, codes to our logins and stuff, so people can, actually share the news of our passing, as well as, maybe they need to get into certain accounts to do certain things. So our family has been, talking about that. Me and my mom and my stepmom my mom and her wife have been talking about that and keeping that information, viable for us, and staying above that, so that when it all comes to shove, that people can take care of the needs. Like for me, I get, as we were talking about, with Robert Graves, I get free burial. Now there's certain things I don't get free, like it'd be better if you cremate me. You know what I mean? I don't want to be cremated though, but I want to be in a casket, so I got to have some money put aside so that I can get in a casket. You know what I mean? So that I can be buried in a casket, because I don't want to be cremated. I still have this fear that, cremation is not the way to go. You know what I'm saying? Put me in a casket. Maybe, if I died under the ground or something, that's better than me, dying by fire. So just in case I didn't really die. You know what I mean? You never know. Not that I have a fear of burning, but yeah, I'm in the hot box all the time. I fear a painful death anyway, and I feel like it's gonna come. So, but it's not for a long time, because I got a long lifeline. So if you believe in that, but anyway, then he says he must have compassion upon those who are injured and smitten by misfortune, and aid them within reasonable limits. He must do deeds of thoughtfulness to those dear to him. Thus, the 7th and last remedy for a lean purse. Look at that. It's to cultivate thy own powers, to study and become wiser, to become more skillful, and to act as to respect thyself. Look at that. Look at that. I see some of our leadership not even acting as they respect thyself. You know what I'm saying? This is the major part of the laws to not having a lean purse. That's why so many of our big business owners are crying right now, because they haven't respected those around us and treated others who are smitten. Those who have, you see them out there doing stuff. Bill Gates, Jeff Bezos, they're out there doing stuff because they've done nothing but try to help people. The people who are trying to help people are out there trying to help people. The people that haven't, they're being silent, hiding in the background, complaining about their money, worried about the stock market, crying and complaining, whining about their purses getting leaner, even though they're rich. Greed without care. You know what I'm saying? And it's important to understand that that's part of not having a lean purse. If you're not worried about having a lean purse, your purse isn't lean. because you're rich inside. You're rich in living your life. And people say that as a cop-out, but no, that's not a cop-out. When you're rich in living your life, all of a sudden, the luck comes. The things that you need comes, the money comes, and all of a sudden, things arise. And if they don't come, when you have an emergency, you can ask your friends because you've been rich and not stingy to your friends. You've been caring about them and doing things that you could do around them and your family. And that's what it's saying right here. Because when you do those things, all of a sudden, things come upon you. When you smile, you keep a PMA, you're able to share a PMA, and that PMA comes back to you. This is important, folks. This is very important. So we can all be lucky. Avoid a lean person. Listen to these 7 cures. Read these 7 cures. You know what I'm saying? You don't want to be sitting here trying to put change. I ain't never poured change out of my wallet. I've seen people do that. I've never poured change out of my wallet. If I ain't got money, it's got a card in it. The 7th cure for a lean purse. Remember what I said about the 7th cure. It's important. We can all be lucky. And in order for us to be lucky, it takes planning. It takes planning and it takes practice. So, with that being said, how do you take action? I know you guys are asking, how do you take action? How can we take action, Doc? Let's put that book away for a moment. Let's pull out another book that will help you take action. This book, I love this book. Why? Because this book has helped me learn better ways to take action by learning myself even better, by helping me accept even more about myself that I could even imagine, and help me accept the things about other people around us and understanding that it all connects and it all helps us all take action in the future. And yes, I have to accept certain things about certain people and not certain people I won't get things done with, but other people I will get things done with. And I may have to sacrifice more. I may have to pay more in certain areas. I may have to learn more in other areas. I may have to coach more in other areas. I may have to inspire more in other areas. I may have to actually get out there and play video games more to inspire people. Yes, that's why you see me playing Star Trek Online the other day, playing to inspire people in my community, my moderator. I like my writer. He's a good kid. He's a good kid and he's smart. And he's got a business mind and he can really go far. You know, and I want to motivate him without ruining his future. You know what I'm saying? Because I can ruin his future by telling him all this stuff and this clown, you know. But if I stop sometimes and play video games with him, then we can have more fun that way. And we can do more things out there. So, you know, we doing Star Trek Online right now. We're going to do other games like Siege, probably. Or, you know, I don't know yet. I'm still worried about some of the shooter games until I get my mouse. You know what I mean? I want to use my Lankesis, but it's been having problems with this computer. So it's because of software. They canceled the game. They canceled the controller. Lankesis was made by Razer back in the day, and they no longer make it. So the old software is kind of old. It's outdated. But, you know, we'll see how the new mouse comes along. Something I got to invest in. You see what I'm saying? I got to invest in a new mouse anyway. Because this mouse is acting funny. This Microsoft mouse is acting really weird. Really weird. Does really weird stuff. You know, but I've been having really weird stuff happen to me at all times. I showed y'all a video Sunday of a weird stuff happened with the computer. But I'm not going to show that now. Right now, I'm going to talk about how you can take action. How can you take action? People want to know how you can take action. First, you got to look inward and accept to advance and learn some things about yourself that help you take action by using Strengthsfinder. Strengthsfinder 2.0. Strengthsfinder 2.0 is 2.0 because it's online too. So you can actually buy the book. The book is like $30. Or you can buy an Audible of it. Or you can buy, I'm going to put the link in the description to actually both these books. As a matter of fact, I didn't put the link in the description to The Richest Man in Babylon yet. Sorry, I was looking up the link. So I'm going to put both these links in the description right now. And I mean in the chat. And once I put them in the chat, then hopefully it'll go, hey, I didn't even get that alert. Thanks, Dumb B Drum 951. I did not get that alert. It didn't even pop up in my chat. I had to flip another screen and see that. Whoa, that's not cool. But I'm putting both these books in chat right now. Oh, I got to put them one at a time, huh? Here we go. Let's go back. Put The Richest Man in Babylon and put Strengthsfinders 2.0 in chat. Where are we at? Where are we at? Thanks for following, Dumb B Drum. Thank you, and I appreciate you with the host as well. I always say thanks for follow, and yeah. Oh, excuse me, that was me hosting somebody else. I gotta look back up. But yeah, let me get this and do them separately. So, The Richest Man in Babylon is this one. All right. And the actual info for Strengthsfinder 2.0 is this one. I wanted to separate them. Like I said, it's easier for me to just give you Amazon links. You know what I'm saying? Yes, I do, because this is my Amazon account. I do get a small kickback at no extra cost to you for you actually using these links. And it helps me continue to provide this content for free. And you know what I'm saying? Like I said, I'm going to be providing at least 5 to 6 years of free content before I start selling certain content. And some content I'm already selling right now, but I've already provided 4 years of content. So I'm still putting stuff out there.
Push button, baby.
Excuse me. Still trying to share what I'm doing with you all, and still trying to share this knowledge. So go out there and get yourself a copy of Clifton Strengthsfinder 2.0, whether it be from getting it through the link or whether it be from actually searching, because you can click that link and go search for it another way and get it a different way and learn about your strengths. Why? It's important you learn about your strengths because there's 34 strengths. Now, let me explain something to you. Everybody focuses on the top 5, and when you buy this book, in the back of this book, it comes with a code, which I'm going to be giving this code away. I'm going to be giving this code away to somebody really soon in one of the contests, so you can get a free top five strengths. The top 5 strengths cost $19.99. You buy the Clifton Strengths, it costs $19.99 for the top 5, and it costs $35 for the 34 strengths altogether. So $1 a strength. But you got to realize that you only really focus either on the top 5. Most people just focus on the top 5. I say you need to focus on the top 10. The top 10 really roundly tell you who you are and the things that you would do and where you are strong at doing stuff. And then if you focus on the top 34, on all 34 strengths, you start to find out where you're not as strong. You see, I don't say weak. I say where you're not as strong, because Strengthsfinder is all about strengths and the shadow parts of your strengths. Like I told you all before in another lesson, how my woo, one of the woo things, the shadow side about my woo is that people think that I'm shallow because I come in and I can easily start conversations with people and jump around. But because I'm positive, less people think I'm shallow because they start to get in tune with that positivity that I have. And some people think that I'm too positive. You know, that's the shadow side of it. You know, and then the other side, you know, at that point, the communication kicks in. And the communication kicks in with intellectual conversation. So I'm not just positive, I'm positive with intellectual conversation about being positive. Keep a PMA. You got to keep a PMA in order to get ahead. But some people think I talk too much. That's why I can talk for what? Almost 2 hours now? Almost 2 hours of me talking straight. You see what I'm saying? I can teach a class on this, but yet and still, I'd rather you go out there and find out more information about it. My class is showing you where you need to go to get the information, not getting the information. Because getting the information is something you need to do for yourself. You've got to imprint it on your head. Like I showed you, I imprinted those certain things on my head so that I get out there and do it. I took my ripple board, put it up on the wall, and I started to make ripples. I ended up not only getting in CSUN, being able to do presentations at CSUN, speeches at CSUN, doing different things at CSUN that I would never have done. Going to Washington with a group of people talking about diversity and change, different things that I would never have done had I not put that board up and said I wanted to be a part of these situations and imprinted it on my mind. See, it's up to us to make change. And with your strengths and learning your strengths, which California State University Northridge helped me learn more about my strengths because they teach Clifton Strengthsfinder. They gave me a free code. That's why I'm giving away this code. That's why I'm giving away this code that I bought. I bought this book before I started CSUN. Didn't realize I had the book, and I was talking about it. I was reading it, and I was like, yeah, it's got some good information in it, but it's like, you got to really break it down because it's sectionalized. And I didn't really understand why it was sectionalized like that. But then I turned around, and after buying this book, took the Gallup Strengthsfinder test, which is online. You can take it online. And it's not necessarily a personality test. It's an understanding test of things, of how we are, our character. It's a character test. And you learn more about your character, your natural character, and you accept the things. And once you accept the things in your natural character, you take action so that you can advance. See how these lessons tie in together? See how important they are in these steps? So now, the 34 strengths break into 4 different categories. You have strategic thinking, relationship building, influencing, and executing. Now, 3 of mine fall in, 2 of mine fall in influencing. Woo and communication. All right. Woo. Woo. I don't see my other. Connected, empathy, harmony, includer, positivity, strategic learning, intuitive, fewest. Wow. Woo, positivity is over there. That's why. Is over there in relationship building. Okay, so each category, I break it down. I'm going to just read them out to you. There's analytical, context, futuristic. Strategic thinking covers analytical, context, futuristic, ideation, input, intellection, learner, and strategic. Relationship building has to do with adaptability, connectedness, developer, empathy, harmony, includer, individualization, positivity, and relator. Influencing has to do with activator, command, communication, competition, maximizer, self-assurance, significance, and woo. Winning others over. Winning others over is what woo stands for. And then executing has to do with achiever, arranger, belief, consistency, deliberative, discipline, focus, responsibility, and restorative. Now, we each have all 34 of these traits, and they fall in a certain order for each of us, like a fingerprint. It's important that you understand that this is a fingerprint of your character. So yours will never match anyone else's. This is only solely laid out to you. And if you honestly answer the test to your honest ability, you will find your actual traits. Now, I've noticed that I remember taking a test like this before, similar, and my traits were a little bit different. But in that particular test. And you may notice over time as you learn and grow, your traits may change. Certain chains may move up. But your base 5 and your base 10 generally stay the same. That's why it's important to look at your 34. Your base 5 generally stay locked in for the most of your life. That's your core traits. Your 10 are how your core traits work with your world. How they work around you and the people around you, and how you use them to navigate your world. And so I think it's important that we all pay attention to our strengths. We all set up with different people with our strengths and learn each other. Because when we learn each other, we can build teams and we can use our strengths instead of fearing the world that we live in, and invest in ourselves so that we can grow and make those ripples and change our own world. Write it down. You got to write it down to make a ripple. So do it. Our strengths, use our strengths, invest in ourselves, and avoid the fears of our loss. That's right. Use our strengths, invest in ourselves, and avoid the fears of loss. Because we're gonna fear a lot of loss, especially now. We gotta avoid that fear of loss and keep charging on and grabbing. Some of you have lost your jobs. Some of you have lost your ability to live life the way you're normally used to it. And some of you will lose more as this pandemic continues to go on. Some of you have lost people. And some of you lose much more than that because it has changed the face of our world. And it continues to change the face of our world. So stay focused. Use your strengths and invest in yourself. Because a fear of loss will only hinder a quest for gain. Yep, I wrote that. Fear of loss will hinder a quest for gain. We're always on a quest for gain. Just remember, that money, that gain is a slave. Is a slave for your usage. Stop fearing the loss of it and use it to make your gains plentiful. And I think that's pretty much it. But, yep. As you see, I keep it going. And I didn't even try to put any CC in. Why does it keep turning? Oh, because I have it set. Oh, that's not what I wanted to remove. Not the chat. I wanted to remove the CC because it's not connected right now for some reason to my voice. But I mean, remember, a fear of loss will hinder a quest for gain. And if you hinder your quest for gain, you won't go anywhere. You'll continue to have a lean purse. You continue to not do what you need to do to gain. And so, I got this video that I wanted to show you. This video, I don't know where it's at because it just did not pop up. Oh. No, it's not over here either. Okay. This video I want to show you is on YouTube. Let's just go to YouTube. And it's an old video that I put out when I first started Real Bucks. And it's to tell you that even when I had no clue, I started to put out an idea of what I needed to do. And the reason why I did that is because I needed to start to lay down some groundwork. I mean, you can't start without doing nothing, you know? And so, actually, there's a couple of videos here, but I think I want to use this particular video.
Within this digital age,
and I use both of them in the lesson, actually. So I'm gonna go back to both of them just real quick. Let's pop up both of them. New tab. And these are the two first videos. They're 2 days apart. July 25th, 2019, or 2015, and July 27th.
Back in
2016. And so, pretty much, I started with this lesson. This lesson, I mean, you can see my whole background is a little bit different. Matter of fact, let's just go to it. Let's just go right to it. This lesson right here is the first 12 steps to multimedia success, which has to do with production software. Actually, there's an overview, which is right after this. I did them backwards, but in the blog, I did them separately. But this is, production software. This is lesson number 2. So we'll go ahead and do that, and we'll go right into it.
Within this digital age, that you check the cards. Can
you believe that? Every time I push that button, I gotta take that off my hotkey. I hope you're hearing.
You know what time it is, and that's right, folks. It's
Hold up. Gotta switch things around so you can hear everything. Comms. And then mute my mic again.
You know what time it is, and that's right, folks. It's another exciting episode of the 12 Steps to Multimedia Success. Now, I know I got this thing about saying exciting episodes. I don't know why I do that. I just do. As a matter of fact, in this first episode, you might see on the screen, like I did last time in the overview, since this is the step 1, block 1, rebooted, should I say, since we're rebooting these lessons, redoing them so that people can get a few tips and as well as get those bits of information with me on the screen, as you guys have suggested. And I thank you, because I actually like being on the screen, you know. It's one of those things. I've always done it. But anyway, in this particular tip, as you might see on the screen, it says 3-point lighting. The last tip is said no lights, no action. You know, so the reason why I'm throwing these tips, and you'll probably see a tip at the beginning of every single one of these 12 steps, is because there are production tips that just people may not think about. You know, you got all these other things on your head, you know, your product, your service, whatever it may be. These tips are to help remind you that, oh yeah, you got to remember lighting. Oh, and if you're going to use lighting, you got to use 3-point lighting. Now, last time I showed you what it looked like without lighting, and then going into some lighting. Some lighting gave me some shadows right around here, and everything else was just, oh, there was also a different color. That's the thing I meant to talk about in the last video. But the thing about me using 2 different colors is that I was using 2 different color temperatures. And
oh my goodness, I was talking that whole time and you didn't even know I was there. Okay, wait, hold on. See, I had to mute my mic, and I thought I unmuted it, but it did not unmute. Yeah. So okay, look. As you see, this is that area, the area of uh-oh. I don't want it to double mute. Okay, so as you see, this is a particular time in which I was doing certain things. Now let me tell you, I was actually doing a radio show. You can see in this particular video right here that I had, at the bottom here, I had the, let me make that big again. Oh. Okay, at the bottom right here, I got a stand for the keyboard, which is right here. You'll see that right next to me right now. But the keyboard was put away, so I still got that guitar on the wall. But also I had mics for people who did their show, 420 Nerds, and I hope that went through. I doubt that went through at this time. I probably was muted the whole time, but if it did go through, thank goodness it went through. Thank goodness it went through if it did go through. But I'm going to just say it again just in case it did not. And as you see there, the books I have right there, that was like a quarter of what I had as far as books. I had like under 100 books at the time. Now I got 300 books back here. So I got like 300 books. I got a vision board up there, just like the one you see. It's the same one you see back there. Another projection board of ideas and things that I've been doing over the years, and they've been gradually sticking in, and I've been gradually doing them. And then over here, I got 420 Nerds set up because I was setting them up to be on the radio live, and I had that new setup. And now I got even better setup for them, and they're not even around. So, but no, actually, I think they used this setup once. This setup was probably used once, and it didn't have the best micage, but it worked for a time being. And then the next time I had new mics, and they didn't come back. Life got in the way. So, and I had stands and different things set up, but I had a whole new thing, and I was working for Grubhub. I was working for Grubhub because they bought our company, which was Restaurants on the Run, which we were like franchise owners, and we kind of like, basically, we go sell a client. If we sold a client, then that pretty much would probably end up being our client, and we can go deliver to them all the time. And they were corporate clients, so they were corporate deliveries, so they were big money deliveries of food, any restaurant they wanted to go to in the area, right? But Grubhub, when they bought us, they made us that door-to-door more, and they took away some of that other side of it. And I think that just kind of ruined the whole idea of it for us. And I don't know, it ruined the money. It ruined the money we had, the whole voyage that we had with everything that we had there on with and so Grubhub's got a different thing, and they got a whole different thing, and the money is different, and people get paid less, and feel sorry for them. But I don't work for them anymore, and so I was in that Grubhub shirt, and I had this whole different persona. I was wearing the shades because I hadn't had the prescription shades yet. You know what I'm saying? So I was wearing these because light hurts my eyes. Light literally does hurt my eyes. Tungsten light hurts my eyes more than anything else. But tungsten looks the best on me. That's the best color to give me my nice brown glow. Otherwise I look blue. And I have to color correct, and I don't want to color correct. I want natural light. That's another thing. Lighting. this was blue lighting on. You see that blue look? That just doesn't look good as it looks now. I wasn't getting the lighting right because I had those umbrella lights and different things. And so this lesson has a totally different effect than what I wanted. But it be like that sometimes.
Last time I showed you what it looked like without lighting and then going into some lighting. Some lighting gave me some shadows right around here, and everything else was just... Oh, there was also a different color. That's the thing I meant to talk about in the last video. But the thing about me using two different colors is that I was using two different color temperatures. And with that being said, it, as you might see on the screen now, also make sure you're using the same color temperature when it comes to it. And we'll talk about color temperature more in my 12-step program. Like I said, it's a basic course. And with that being said, you probably wonder why I'm wearing a Grubhub t-shirt. Yes. Shirt. That's because our company, Restaurants on the Run, was bought out. It's a, let me rewind here. Restaurants on the Run is a corporate food delivery service, and because when I joined with the company, I joined
Y'all don't
as a
need to hear
partner,
that.
just like you joined with Uber.
Let me go to the next one. But yeah, as you'll see in this lesson, I give out certain things like little tips.
Continue to finance this because I haven't looked for advertisers yet.
I already had a sponsor. I already got enough sponsor. But, oh, no, you saw at the beginning of this, I put out little tips. I put out little things that, you know, people may need, like audio, lighting, or whatever. And I even talked about,
help us
I started talking about a
sound
book.
Reporting.
Started talking about a
Fantasy
book,
stuff,
sound recording.
But I didn't read a lot of stuff that helped me gain those steps. And then also,
Sound Reporting was the book I talked about. And, 100 Careers in the Music Business. So I started talking about books that I wanted to share with people and talking about things in nature that I learned already in the process and where it went. But I had no clue because I didn't know how to break down the lessons for these books like I'm breaking down now. You know, I'm breaking them down, and this is a light version of me breaking them down. When I break them down for the big major lesson, totally different breakdown. You know what I mean? When I start breaking down the actual lesson the way I want it, full blown, like for the courses, it's a totally different world. But check this out. Here's another section for you. Another section for you. This one, same thing. Came in, and here it goes.
you know what time it is. Yes, that's right, folks. It's Doc Rio, and I'm here from Rio Bucks Consulting Group. As a matter of fact, I forgot one thing. So one thing about multimedia production, gotta make sure you got lights. So let me do something real quick. I know I'm recording, but I got some things to talk to you about real quick. You guys have been sending me messages saying, hey, how come you haven't been, on the screen? And I know. You guys want to see me on the screen because you want to make sure that I know what I'm talking about and it's not memorized, it's not rehearsed. 90% of the time, I am not rehearsing anything I'm saying. I am writing it down, though.
I said this particularly because I started the first lesson series without me being on the screen because I was laying on my back. And so I had to come back and redo the whole lesson series over, and I actually added the video into this video. So
I do keep a list on my iPhone about what I'm going to say, or on my iPad about what I'm going to say, what I'm going to do. Because in order to show anyone anything, you got to have it organized. So give me 1 second. Let me crank up this extra light real quick, and we'll see how it goes.
That's what I was talking about the light. You see that? That light right there, the light changed and all that stuff changed all around because I had different light in the background. If you look, there's an ashtray on a plastic table. That was the table.
Yeah.
That was the table that I fell through. There was a glass table right there, and I fell right through it. And that ashtray was the glass piece that was on it. I still keep the glass ashtray. I put condoms in it. That's what it's for. And I put condoms in it so that if people come by, they can, take a condom home, So I have this thing about giving out free condoms, safe sex. Telling people about safe sex is important. I think that's important. That's just like don't drink and drive. Those two things, safe sex, don't drink and drive. Stupid moves that we all make. We've all have made either one of those moves if you're young, dumb, and full of, yeah. Anyway, but yeah, so my whole living room was totally different. Now it's a computer warehouse. But yeah, you'll see the PC that I had in the back was the old PC that I wasn't even touching. I wouldn't even get down with that one. I'm surprised I had that food saver. That thing broke. But anyway, I had to use my kitchen as part of, but I was just making it. I didn't know what to do. I just got off being on my back. My leg was split wide open. You know what I'm saying? Split all the way to the bone by the glass table I had fallen into. And I had no clue of what to do. But I got up. I got up, got on, and got something. You've got to get up, get on, and get something. I can't stress that enough. And when all the chips are down, you got to stay positive. You got to use those strengths to get up, get on, and get something. So that's what I was doing. That's how this story ended up being into this lesson. And so as I got into this lesson, I should just leave this lesson for, I'll bring this lesson back another time. But I'm not going to bring it back today. But this lesson had some things in it, I think the other one did, that started this voyage. And it kind of sounds similar, but it's more refined now. It's more information now. And I've actually looked through data now and realized that some of the stuff I was saying was correct. Some of the stuff I was getting, some of the stuff I was doing just by hunch and talking about is definitely correct. But there's some changes, like in that production software, I talk all about Mac. I get down and dirty all about Mac because I think Mac is an important thing to have if you want in the editing world. When I use these PCs and stuff in the editing world and media, sometimes it just doesn't work. But a PC is great for streaming. It's great for video gaming. There's a different side to it. It's great for programming. It's great for doing all that kind of stuff on. Mac is great for creating multimedia and creating art and creating things like Photoshop and all different kind of things like that. So I think it's important to understand the concepts of both and understand how they're being used and understand how to use things better. But not only understanding how to use different things better, understanding how we work and how we can be better. So that when you start to use things, you use things at the best of your ability because you know what your abilities are. Sometimes we get to a certain place and we don't know what our abilities are, and we think we know what our abilities are, and we might even hype our abilities up because we got some experience. But until we get in that place and fall flat on our face, we don't realize our abilities are maybe lacking. So I've fallen on my face in a lot of places and learned from a lot of things. And I think one of the things that I've consistently done is one thing that my abilities always take me into is that I take action. I will do. People tell me for years they don't understand how I've survived. How do you keep surviving? How are you always surviving, Doc? It's not just luck. It's preparation and planning. Preparation and planning and consistently putting out the things that I want to do, which has kept me looking nice and young, as I tell people. Living the dream the way I want to live the dream has always kept me alive, and it's kept me on a straight and forward path. And sometimes I've been in bad situations that I can't get out of, and I don't know what to do, and I cry like everybody else. And then I get up, brush myself off, ask for help if I need it, and go out and do it. Get it done. This is Doc. I hope you enjoyed this lesson. Stay tuned for more in the Hot Box with Doc Rio. We come back later. Come back later with more of these lessons. I just want to keep giving them to you, giving you the gusto. It's in the Hot Box. That's how we roll. That's how we roll. I still got to make one more variation on my screen. I think I just wanted it blank. I didn't want anything on that screen. But for some reason, when I switch over to it, it's still putting stuff up. But that's how things are. Stay tuned for more. As I come back with more, I got to get the blog post out, but I've been a little busy this weekend, and I decided last night to take a gaming night. 8 hours of straight gaming on Mixer. It was fun, actually. It was pretty fun. I gamed with my mod and we had some fun, and then I gamed some more after he was gone. And you know what? I might have to do that more often. Stay tuned for more Doc Rio in the hot box with Doc Rio. And I come back with the next lesson next week. Come back with the next lesson next Monday. Something stronger to take action. After you take action, now you need a little bit of guidance. So I won't tell you what the next lesson is because I don't have it in front of me, but I already know what it is. I already have it written down. So I already have plans to make those moves. So stay tuned. I'm out of here. Stay tuned for more In the Hot Box with Doc Rio as we come back next week. Peace. Doc Real TV.